I don't have a script for this, and so I'm going to try and make this as lucid as I possibly can. I also want to make a warning here at the very beginning. I'm going to be talking about suicide specifically, so if that is something that is triggering or that's not really something you really want to delve into, then I forgive you for clicking away now. I devoured the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why for two very distinct reasons. Number one, I think simply on an artistic level, it's a major achievement. The acting, the directing, the writing, I think are all superb, like across the board. It was something that engaged me, it thrilled me, it shocked me in very many ways. And I think for just those reasons, it's an achievement. I want to talk about the time in high school where I almost made the decision to kill myself. I've kind of mentioned this off and on social media and in previous YouTube videos years ago, but there's been lots of new viewers since then, and I really want to share my story. Now, there are a lot of articles that I've read and groups that are upset with its depiction of suicide, and for some of them I can completely understand. So spoilers for 13 Reasons Why. If you don't want to be spoiled, again, you can stop watching. I was closeted in very many ways in high school, and so I really felt ostracized. Yes, I had friends, but they were not the friends necessarily that I felt like I could open up to. I didn't have that quintessential sitcom or television friendship where like I just spilled my guts to everyone, or was like on the phone twirling my hair and be like, oh, like let's go to the sock hop on Friday. I grew up in the 50s, apparently. It does graphically show the actual suicide, which I think is kind of the wrong choice. I do agree with people who say that because I don't know. I think that there's a power to never having seen it. There's a power to always have Hannah, that character, be this person who was so distraught that she went home and did this act, and these are all the consequences that we've been seeing through the entire show. So I agree with that. What I disagree with, though, for the articles that I've read, is that it is somehow glorifying suicide, and I never once thought that was the case. I felt so alone. I felt so separate from everyone else that I simply could not imagine there to be a future where myself and the world were in the same spot. Meaning that I could not imagine myself over 30 years old, and here we are, and welcome to the future, kid. Maybe at the very beginning it seemed like, it seems like you just have to leave a note and everyone will just be really sad and like improve their lives. But I don't think that that's what the theme of the show is. Everybody in this television show is shown to have shades of gray. There's people who are trying to do the right thing but sometimes do the bad thing. Some people who tend to do the bad thing but will sometimes do the good thing. I think even Hannah herself is shown that this is not exactly the best choice that she made. She only reached out to one person. One person. When there was her parents, there was other friends, Clay was there. So I don't think that she's necessarily shown to be the right person in this regard either, even after all of the trauma that she received. So I had it planned. I was done trying to pretend to be someone else. I didn't want to be hidden away anymore. As I mentioned in previous videos, if it's not clear yet, I'm bisexual, so there's that I was dealing with. I was awkward, I was geeky, I liked things that nobody else seemed to like. There was no one I could talk to about that. I just felt like I was in this small town in Alberta, Canada, and that it was never ever gonna get any better than this. That I was stuck, that I was trapped, that I would always be sad. As somebody who has or was about to commit suicide, the act of not talking to your parents, about closing yourself off, about feeling like you can't tell anyone, rang true for me. I didn't feel that that was glorification. I thought that was fact. Like, that is exactly how I kind of acted in high school. I wouldn't have left tapes and stuff. Obviously, that's kind of the fiction that they're putting around this. but the emotional impact rings true. And the ripple effects that it has throughout the student population is intriguing for me as you see each successive person that she names. We see the complete waffling of the school administration, who is more concerned about their bottom line than they are about their students' safety. We see the absolute terrible implications of hypermasculinity and always, glorifying athletics over again the feelings of safety in the school. I was done with it. I decided, you know what, today I am going to just finish this. I wrote a note. I actually had written a note about everything that was on my mind, and I left it in my locker. I went to the pharmacy, the drugstore that was near the high school, and I got this huge bottle of Advil, so of aspirins, and I was like, I'm just gonna eat all of these at one time and we'll OD and then never wake up again. To be fair, I don't actually know if that would work. I'm not entirely certain if that is a thing that would actually have happened, but that was what I was gonna do. We can see how people kind of just drift away from friendships, which often happens not just in high school but in life. We see people who want to say something but simply can't because they're too scared, and how fear really is the enemy of everything. So I think that there's just a lot of stuff that goes on in this show, and I think it is great in its depiction. And I'd be happy if there was never a season 2. I think even though that there's some loose ends, I think that it works. So now famously in the story that I've told before is that I was ready to do it. I had the note written, and I had put it in my locker. I had put the drugs, the aspirin, in my locker as well. I was going to do it, and then one of my friends came up, and we had just a quick little exchange, and all he said was like, well, see you tomorrow. And I said, yep, see you tomorrow. And now I felt trapped. I was like, well, I can't lie to the guy. I have to see him tomorrow. And then it felt a little bit overly dramatic or overdrawn. I didn't want to kill myself after that, or it just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. And so I destroyed the letter, took the Advil home, put it into the medicine cabinet, and then have tried to work on self-improvement since then. I mean, it took another 8 years before I really sought professional help to feel like I was my own being again. But that's how close I was. That's how close I was to killing myself. And it really scares me here as an adult thinking about that time. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I loved about it, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down in the comments below. This is a super heavy topic, so I apologize for the low-keyness of this, but I'm filming this on the day I'm uploading it, because again, I'm terrible at managing my time. Again, I would love to hear what you think down in the comments below. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. I'm sure I'll see you again next week. I hope I do.